When we think of viral content, we often think of something like this.
Charlie bit me.
Or more recently, this.
Ah! Oh, ouch! Ouch! Ouch!
Suarez!
Ow!
Suarez!
And when we think of viral marketing, it may conjure up images of drum-playing gorillas selling chocolate, or even other fierce creatures selling chocolate. But what actually is viral marketing? This video explores what it means and the frameworks and tools one can use to make sure your video goes viral, and why in this connected landscape, viral marketing is so important. As with many academic terms, there is no one agreed upon definition for viral marketing. In fact, there's a lot of dispute. Even the name itself is disputed, with many preferring the hipper term buzz marketing to viral marketing. Some academics have chosen to define viral marketing quite narrowly, calling it word of mouth marketing, whilst others see it in more broader terms as the process of encouraging honest communication amongst consumer networks, or others have said it's consumer-to-consumer communication as opposed to company-to-consumer communication to disseminate information about a product or a service. Perhaps the best encompassing definition of viral marketing is of it as a marketing technique that uses social networks to produce increases in brand awareness. But for me, viral marketing is the act of pushing messages through the social network of individual consumers, using their friends and their families and individuals to push out your marketing message. But it's not just word of mouth online, or word of mouse as it's called. It's more than that. It's about a contagious message that has a ripple effect, like a stone in a pond. And it hits not only individual consumers and their friends, but also their acquaintances and even strangers. And that builds into a crescendo. And that, for me, is what viral marketing actually is. It's important because it is cheaper, as well as being more credible than traditional advertising. Furthermore, your message is disseminated far quicker than traditional advertising, and it can be much more targeted to the consumers you want to attract, rather than the old scattergun, one-size-fits-all approach of old media and old advertising. Furthermore, we're increasingly dependent and reliant upon our digital lives online. Our eyeballs are connected to our, not literally, but are connected to our iPads and our smartphones. And therefore, for advertisers to reach their consumer and to get to the top of the mind, they need to have viral marketing campaigns as part of their company strategy in order to reach consumers. However, we should be careful not to overstate the importance of viral marketing. We think that all word of mouth is now done online. It isn't. Only 7% of our word of mouth is done online. We're not on Facebook and Twitter all the time. Still, the majority of word of mouth is conducted around the breakfast table and around the water cooler at the office. Also, we must remember that viral campaigns don't operate in hermetically sealed environment online. They often rely upon traditional media, whether it be the broadcasters or newspapers, to help disseminate the message. So whilst they can be important, they still need traditional media to help make them go viral and become contagious.
Jump away.
Red Bull's successful Stratos viral campaign, which saw Felix Baumgartner's world record freefall from the edge of space, generated a true reach of more than 50 million viewers in only 4 days. However, this would not have been possible without the support of the news networks and newspapers that it covered the event extensively and ensured further coverage online. There are several academic models and frameworks that can help practitioners better understand viral campaigns and ensure the success of them. For example, this integrated framework for online viral campaign, espoused by Grifoni et al., advocates a four-phase approach to viral campaigns. The first phase involves the analysis of the company's internal and external environment, its business context, and the knowledge of the type of online viral marketing campaigns that exist and work. In the second phase, objectives and targets are defined. The third phase insists upon message creation and the selection of the relevant tools to use. And the final phase is about the implementation, testing, realizing and seeding of the online viral marketing campaign. Another model, the SPIN network, identifies 4 key drivers of success to viral marketing. S is for spreadability, the spreadability of content based on personal factors, who is spreading the message and why. The P is for propagativity, referring to the ease with which consumers are able to redistribute content, in other words, the how. I is for integration, as in how multimedia platforms are integrated and ecosystems are created to disseminate messages. And finally, N is for nexus, which means the successive reinforcement of messaging throughout a campaign. If we look at this 2010 Old Spice commercial, The Man Your Man Could Smell Like, it incorporates all the elements of the SPIN framework.
Where are you? You're on a boat with the man your man could smell like. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
It understands that for spreadability to occur, it needs to motivate people to not only click on and open the ad, but also to actively then send it on and move it forward. Motivation is really important, a willingness not only to consume, but to distribute. Now, for people to consume something, it needs to be likable. And this ad, which self-parodies the Old Spice brand and its subsequent follow-up ad, which also self-parodied the Old Spice brand, are indeed very likable.
Do you want a man who smells like he can bake you a gourmet cake in the dream kitchen he built for you with his own hands? Of course you do. Swan dive into the best night of your life. So ladies, should your man smell like an Old Spice man? You tell me.
It's also amusing and unique enough to be shareable. People watching obviously saw it and thought it would engage and interest their social network.
Old Spice, I tell you, I love that commercial so much, I'm about to buy me some Old Spice.
Every man in the world wants to smell like our next guest. There are very few commercials that are that special that people really pay attention to.
Social networks make it easy for the ad to be propagated, and for a follow-up campaign, the Responses campaign, Old Spice adopted integrated platforms to facilitate a Q&A with the audience. They used Twitter to source questions from their audience and provided answers via YouTube.
12755 JDH commented, I love these commercials. And I love you.
These more personalized and customized responses ensured that the brand awareness remained high and the successive reinforcement of message was achieved.
Oh, hello, dangerous prairie wolf.
Our final framework is the 6 steps advocated by Jonah Berger for viral success in his book Contagious. So the S in steps framework is for social currency. What does he mean by social currency? It means, does sharing this make me look hip, cool, an insider, smart, clever, all those kind of things? Is it going to enhance my how people view me? And so, for example, I posted this clip on Facebook at the start of the World Cup campaign, and I think this ticks many of those social motivation factors. T is for triggers, top of the mind, tip of the tongue. Does your message relate to something familiar? Is it going to be topical? Is it interesting? E is for emotion. When we care, we share. Will your content create a visceral reaction with us that will enhance a bond with those we share it with? Bergen has written about this quite a lot. In another academic paper of his, he talks about how positive emotions tend to be more viral than negative ones. But we should be careful that it's not so simplistic, because he goes on to explain that actually it's more about high arousal emotions versus low arousal emotions. What he means by that is that, for example, something that's amusing or awe-inspiring, i.e. positive emotions, will go viral. They are high arousal, but there are also high arousal emotions that will also go viral, such as anger or anxiety. However, low arousal emotions, such as, for example, sadness, don't tend to encourage people to share. Examples of triggers and emotion can be seen in the recent controversy surrounding the Luis Suarez biting incident at the World Cup. Brands knew the incident was topical and top of the mind, as was the World Cup itself, and their brand message would be reinforce a trigger when discussed. Furthermore, they also knew that the incident itself produced a strong visceral reaction of anger in many people, which they hoped to diffuse with very timely topical humour. The final 3 letters of the STEPS framework are P for publicness. Are people using this product, and are they seeing the video and the message that is being created? The next P is for practical value. Is the message that you are sharing of use to others? Will it benefit people by sharing it online and as well as offline? And finally, S is for stories. Is there a really coherent, evocative narrative being displayed by your viral campaign? Dove's Real Beauty Sketches advert is a classic example of using these last 3 letters from the STEPS framework, and it has gained over 14 million online views, and at the time was the most viral online advertisement ever.
Tell me about your hair.
I didn't know what he was doing, but then I could tell after several questions that he was drawing me.
Tell me about your chin.
It kind of protrudes a little bit, especially when I smile.
Your jaw.
My mom told me I had a big jaw.
What would be your most prominent feature?
Kind of have a fat, rounder face.
The older I've gotten, the more freckles I've gotten.
All I had been told before the sketch was to get friendly with this other woman, Chloe.
Today I'm going to ask you some questions about a person you met earlier, and I'm going to ask you some general questions about their face.
She was thin, so you could see her cheekbones. And her chin, it was a nice, thin chin.
She had nice eyes. They lit up when she spoke.
Cute nose.
So here we are. This is the sketch that you helped me create, and that's a sketch that somebody described of you.
So yeah, I should be more grateful of my natural beauty. It impacts the choices and the friends that we make, the jobs we apply for, how we treat our children. It impacts everything. It couldn't be more critical to your happiness.
Do you think you're more beautiful than you say?
Yeah.
The video's self-esteem boosting message clearly resonated with a massive audience. Not only was it a compelling story about how women were their own worst critics, but it had practical value for women too. Furthermore, the strong positive emotional response ensured a very public sharing of the ad amongst women who were more inclined to adopt the behaviour Dove sought to encourage. According to Unruly's data, the Dove campaign was shared over 3.25 million times, which made it one of the most shared campaigns of all time, and it had a share to view ratio of 1 to 30, which is exceedingly good. This video has some ups and downs, and its fair share of video examples that has made this assignment what it is today. Now I stand here before you, and what you see is a video crafted to perfection. But now I want to show you a video that has mastered the most epic of viral campaign.
I've had my ups and downs, my fair share of bumpy roads and heavy winds. That's what made me what I am today. Now I stand here before you. What you see is a body crafted to perfection, a pair of legs engineered to defy the laws of physics, and a mindset to master the most epic of splits.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time.
Yes, Volvo's epic split campaign starring the action movie star Jean-Claude Van Damme was a viral marketing success beyond compare. The reason? It focused on the psychology of marketing campaigns rather than the technology that was being sold. And yet, the technology itself was still very much at the epicenter of the video, with the focus being on Volvo's precision steering.
Trucks will be placed closely together, and you will be standing on the side mirrors, 1 foot on each mirror.
Right.
The trucks will move backwards.
And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time.
Volvo had an effective seeding strategy that chose the correct first-generation users to introduce the teaser ad to, which in turn built anticipation for the main ad. The epic split ad itself evokes multiple social motivations to increase the sharing potential. It is reaction-seeking and encourages a shared emotional experience. We are curious, surprised, awed, incredulous, and amused when we watch this. The ad remembers that social is much more than social media. In fact, it encourages offline word of mouth as well. Furthermore, it never allows us to be bored. It surprises us from the get-go. And while surprising us, it never shocks us because it understands that shock is a barrier to spreadability. It also holds our attention. The close frame shot of Jean-Claude Van Damme with his eyes closed and a voiceover and what appears to be trucks in the background intrigues us. The jerky camera further heightens our interest. And the slow zoom out to reveal him standing on the truck wing mirrors creates surprise and awe. And when the truck pulls apart, we are incredulous at seeing the epic split. In short, they have built an emotional roller coaster for us to hold our interest. Furthermore, the brand messaging is subtle. Overt brand messaging and imagery throughout an ad puts people off, especially in viral campaigns. But Volvo adopt brand pulsing, which entwines the ad with their imagery and their messaging throughout the viral campaign. We see the Globe Trucker Volvo trucks, but they're not front and center of our focus. However, after we've been blown away by the stunt, we're reminded that this was only possible due to Volvo's precision steering. The brand message is firmly planted in our head. Finally, I would argue that the split is absurd enough to encourage spoofing. Here's an example of a movie studio using it to promote their own forthcoming campaign.
Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows, only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows, only time. We gotta
You mother... Said not to go too hard.
As we spend more and more time online and we are increasingly bombarded with messages, the importance of viral marketing is only going to increase, especially as companies clamour to ensure cut-through and reach with their messages. However, bad viral campaigns can become toxic and you can really offend your customer base. At best, they become embarrassing and you are about as cool as dad dancing at a wedding. However, a good viral campaign can ensure that your customers and consumers act as advocates on your behalf. And that is why I envisage that more and more companies are going to invest in research to ensure that their viral campaigns are a success. For example, I envisage greater use of facial response technology to anticipate the intensity and appeal of videos. Researchers have already found that the greater the smile intensity of people responding to videos that they have seen, not for the first time, but for the second time, ensures that it's much more likely to go viral. So I think we should anticipate more of this in the future. I also envisage a greater emphasis on seeding strategies by companies. What do we mean by seeding strategy? Well, a seeding strategy is where companies choose the number of consumers or seeds in which to disseminate their message, as well as the type of consumers that they want to use to disseminate their message. And I think we'll see much more research by companies to ensure that they target the right seeds for viral contagion. Another key factor now and in the future will be the increasing importance of mobile. The smartphone and the tablet has really made campaigns much more shareable and increased viral output, and the effectiveness of campaigns is only going to increase as our dependence on mobile technology increases. I think in the future we'll see viral campaigns become much more localized and personalized to ensure that they really effectively reach the people, individuals and communities that they are targeting, and therefore become much more effective. You'll see more personalized and interactive campaigns, and they will often happen much more in real time and make it much more relevant to the communities that they are trying to engage with. And I think we'll see much more of that in the future. We've shown how viral marketing can be a powerful tool and support your measurable business goals. It's a tool that can be used to raise awareness for your brand as well as reinforce your brand image. In this video assignment, I've tried to explore the definition of viral marketing as well as some of the theoretical models that perhaps some practitioners can try and implement, as well as look at some case studies of effective viral campaigns in the past. In the future, I anticipate greater emphasis on research prior to the launch of a viral campaign, and a greater focus on more localized, personalized, interactive viral campaigns. But we need to remember that viral marketing is a means to an end and not the end itself. That said, there is no more powerful tool in order to disseminate your message as quickly and speedily as viral marketing.